Hey guys, what's going on? Mysterion here, and we got another series going on here. What I would like to do with this series is essentially overview a system or a game, and I'm not sure what it's going to be titled. It might just be overviews, just call it overviews, and whatever it happens to be that I'm overviewing. But essentially just take 5 minutes of your time and look over something, talk about the aspects of whatever. So, obviously, today is going to be the Xbox 360. So, let's just dive into it real quick. So, let's see if we can get... this is my first time doing this, so... where do we want to start? We want to start on the front. And you may notice at the bottom... this thing is a giant. Right here. There's a flap right here, but it's kind of... broken. Well, mine is broken, sort of. It's not broken off, but it's just not as, it's not like a door anymore. So, but that right there, that is your USB ports, and what those are for are wired controllers. But the unique thing about these USB ports is that you can actually use these for different things. So, for instance, if you have a phone and it's USB charged, meaning that it has a USB port at the end. In fact, I might have one around. Well, I can't pull it out right now, but essentially, some phones nowadays, actually my iPhone is essentially the same cord that you would plug into your computer, plugs into the outlet or whatever. They just have an adapter for the outlet. But if you have something like that, you can plug that into this, and it will actually charge it. As long as the system's on, it will actually charge the phone or whatever it is. iPods, MP3 players, depending on what generation of iPod though, and I noticed that I think iPod Touches do not work on the Xbox 360. But say you had an iPod Nano of a certain generation, that would work on the USB ports, and then essentially you can listen to your music and it would charge it at the same time. So those are the USB ports. What's also interesting is that technically, now this isn't necessarily true, but if you think about it, there are 4 circles on, or pieces of a circle on here, I guess you say, or on the controllers, I should say. There are, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 at the Xbox guide button, and that's for the amount of controllers you can have on a system. So essentially it's up to 4 players playing on one system. Now, think about it. You can have 4 wireless controllers. That's my dog. You have 4 wireless controllers. I think he's gonna hop in over here. And 2 wired controllers. That's 6 controllers altogether. Now, those other 2 controllers, those 2 extra controllers aren't gonna work, obviously. But it's an interesting thought. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Power button right here. Doesn't really click. Right here, if I can find it, right here. Oh, well, right here, this is the sensor for recognizing your wireless controllers. Memory card ports, which is actually interesting. Memory card ports aren't really used that much today anymore, like memory cards in general. I remember back in the day on PS2 and GameCube and so that memory cards were like 8 megabytes. The ones that they sell for these are like 64 megabytes. But the interesting concept with memory on these newer consoles these days is that there's a few different options to memory, and one of them, if I can get it off the top here, see if I can. I might just absolutely fail at this. Here we go. One of them happens to be, it's a little dirty, a hard drive. Alright, so this is 250 gigabytes, and I'll get to this later, but a hard drive is something they added this generation. Now, hard drives have been in systems like Xbox, the original Xbox, has been in systems before, but memory cards were still prevalent back in the PS2 days and everything. So the thing about hard drives is they hold a ton more memory, and so with this system, this is the Pro, and I'll get to a second how you can distinguish the Pro from other versions of the system. The Pros usually come with about a minimum of 12 or 20 gigabytes, I want to say. I'm not too sure. You might have to look that up. And by the way, this is the original Xbox 360. This isn't the Slim or anything like that. You might as well know. So just keep that in mind. This is the original, and so this is actually going to be a lot different on the Slim. So mine actually came with 60 gigabytes. All right, but I expanded my memory, which is cool. You can expand your hard drive space by getting another hard drive. So this is a 250 gig because I was running out of space on my 60 gig, and hard drives just hold a lot more space. Now, you don't necessarily have to purchase a hard drive. Another way you can store memory, let me just put this back real quick. Another way, if I remember how to put this on. Alright, that should be on. Another way you can store memory is through flash drives or thumb drives, and you plug that straight into the USB ports. And or you can have external hard drives. So say you bought an external hard drive for like your computer or something like that, you can store games on here, on an external hard drive. You can plug it into the USB port like you would on your computer and store the memory of any game, or maybe put even a whole game on there. I know some friends that actually do that. So Xbox has their own, like Microsoft has their own licensed Xbox thumb drives or whatever, but the they're only like about 8 to 10 gigabytes. So so you got a few options here. You got memory card ports, you got a hard drive, which is, you know, like sort of the standard now is just to have a hard drive, and you have flash drives or anything like that, thumb drives, what else, external hard drives, stuff like that. So yeah, so as I was saying before, there are ways to, oh, I didn't put this in all the way. Let me fix that real quick. I'm sorry guys, this is my first time doing something like this. I am so stupid. I don't even know how to put together my own Xbox. Come on. Alright, that hopefully worked. Hopefully it didn't break it. I was talking about how earlier there are different versions of the Xbox 360, like the original format model. I would call this model 1 of the Xbox 360. And then Model 2 would be the Slim. But there's different versions, like different tiers of Xbox 360s. One is the Pro, which is sort of the middle one, the middle pricing range. Sorry, that's my dog. And the way you can find out the distinguish, you know, which system is which, is through the tier system. So this one's the Pro. Below that is called the Core, which is, it doesn't come with a hard drive to start off. And this faceplate right here, this one is like chrome or silver or something like that, it's reflected. But the one on the Core is not. It is completely plastic. Same plastic as what they use to cover the system right here, all this white plastic. And then there's the Elite, which came out sometime later, which had a standard of 120 gigabytes hard drive space. So, and it comes with the same faceplate, but the difference with the Pro and the Elite, obviously space, but also the color. The color is actually black. And I think Microsoft did this so people would understand which system they're buying. So this one's the Pro, comes with 250. Well, it didn't come with 250. I bought expandable memory. Also with hard drives, I don't know if you noticed before, but maybe I could show it like this. Well, I don't know. But there's a chrome ring around this, right? And hard drives are a way to determine, you know, what is what too, because my 60 gig did not have this ring around it. It has straight up plastic. So, same thing with the hard drives as there is with the Xbox. So, did we go over everything on the front yet? I would say so. Alright, so let's go to the back, and this is going to be kind of hard to do. Let me just look at this real quick. Alright, so let's see. Down here at the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, but right at the bottom is the power supply. You get a power brick or whatever, and it plugs right in. And right up here, this is the audio, video inputs, whatever. Now, one thing interesting with these consoles is that this is technically the first HD system to be released, the first HD console to be released. Yet, to this day, the system and the PS3 are shipped without HDMI cables. I don't know what it is with Microsoft and Sony not putting, not putting in HDMI cables with their systems to sort of showcase them. I know Nintendo, learned that real quickly and decided to put HDMI cables with their Wii U. But for some reason, Sony and Microsoft have decided, even to this day, that these systems were pretty old, like 7-8 years now, to not put those in, and instead put in the red, yellow, white cables that we all know from childhood's past. So, what's actually interesting about my cables, I can't get them right now, but this system actually came with 2 sets of cables on one line. And so you had the red, yellow, white, which is your standard 360p, and the red, green, blue cables, alright? And I believe those were 480p or 720p. I think it's 480p. And essentially, those don't have sound. You can't have sound with those. So what I did was, when I purchased my headset, I used the 2 audio cables from the standard set of cords, and used the video on like the TV, the 480p cords, and so yeah, I can play games in 480p, nice definition, and still have sound. So, but it's all on one line. It's like a split cable on one cord. So, you actually have another USB port right here. Actually, let me look at this real quick. Yeah, you have a USB port on top, right here, on this side, and then you have a, looks like, no, and then you have Ethernet port right here. And so the Ethernet port, obviously, is if you have internet and you want to wire it to your Xbox. But if you have wireless internet and you can't connect it Ethernet port, you can buy one of these doohickeys right here. And what this does, this was $100 when I first got this thing. So let's just zoom in on that real quick. Essentially, this allows you to have a signal from your Xbox to your modem, router, whatever, and it uses USB, so you can plug it in on the front or in the back. I usually plug it in the back because it's meant to be plugged in the back. And essentially, that's its main purpose. Now these days you can find different versions of these. This was, like I said, $100 when I got it, when they first came out. And then they came out with different ones that were different colors, like black, and they had 2 internet antennas. And I think the difference between these two, or the couple other ones, was that maybe updated software on them to recognize different internet types. So this one right here recognizes my internet type, so it's not a big deal. But you just hook this right on the back. Let me see if I can get this on the back here real quick. Hook that up real quick. Boom, and boom. Alright, so that's what it looks like on the back. If you want to have it standing up like that, so if your system is vertical as opposed to horizontal, you can have it like that. I personally have my system laying down as opposed to standing up, and so mine goes like that. Other than that, right here, obviously for laying down your system, rubber feet, stuff like that. Is there anything else to go over with this system? I don't believe so. They do have an HDMI. Oh, that came off, but it didn't break, so that's good. They do have an HDMI port included, obviously, because it is an HD system. But obviously, they didn't come with. They still don't come with cables. So that's a bummer. But yeah. Is there anything else to talk about? I don't think there is. So, guys, if you liked the video, please leave a like. Subscribe for more content. I'll be doing more of these in the future. And that's pretty much it, guys. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'm out.